was young, feeling little, saw you from a mile away. My life was a riddle till I met your gaze. You were bold, made me shiver, couldn't find words to say. Your looks made me fiddle, but you asked for my name, name, name. 'Cause I was caught there, lost in emotions, fighting for your devotion. From the day lost days were over, you made us so beautiful. We made plans, we would dream.
Good morning, Rise and Freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show at wakeupamericashow.com. Happy Friday. How was your Independence Day? Good one? I saw Johnson over in the chat says, the only thing that got me through not having a show yesterday was blowing up for freedom. Good stuff. Yes. Hope you guys didn't miss us too bad. Actually, we hope you missed us a lot. We hope you don't know what to do without us. And when I say us, I mean you, me, and Steffi P for Liberty. It's Freedom Family Friday.
Wake Up America withdrawals. Yay for healthy coping mechanisms.
I need it injected into my veins.
We almost didn't wake up this morning. I woke up at just after 4 a.m. and I was like, did the alarm go off yet?
I had turned off my alarms so that we could sleep in yesterday, and then I didn't turn them back on. So this morning, Steffi gives me the old jolt at like 4.
For me waking up like every few hours naturally.
Yeah, so I woke up at like 4:03, and then so because I got 2 alarms, one that goes off at 4, one at 4:30, and first one didn't go off, so I was ruined at that point because once I have that like that terrifying jolt, it's like you're up, you're not going back to sleep. So
we're here.
We're
We
here.
made it.
We're here. And Justin Peterson will be joining us again live at 8 a.m. Central Time. Freedom Family Friday.
Is anybody actually working today? When we were driving in today, I was like, is there anybody actually going to a job today? Or is it just us?
Yeah, I'm glad we took yesterday off. It was slow. I heard a lot of people weren't, didn't go to work. They had days off. We had a nice
They
day.
should. I mean, it's a federal holiday.
Yeah, I mean, it's Independence Day. Everybody loves freedom. Well, actually, it turns out not everybody loves freedom. As a matter of fact, this gentleman, I guess is what I shouldn't call him, was at the beach yesterday when he saw an American flag. Stephanie, you haven't seen this video yet.
No, this is a surprise.
Yeah, this is
I did all my homework. I reviewed every video we're going through today.
Sometimes I find new stuff and I jump in there. Andy is working today, though. But this liberal yesterday saw an American flag on a beach, and this was his reaction to it. Just FYI, there is some harsh language in this video and some of the other videos that we're going to play as well. So beware. Here comes some bad words. I have now warned you, and here's what this liberal had to say when he saw that.
Enjoying a nice day at the beach with my kids, and I turn around, I got these flags planted here on the beach by these MAGA f***s. Listen, this is all America. We know you didn't storm the beaches to stake out your territory on the beach. This isn't the fucking moon. I get it. This is America. But I'm sick of my flag being represented by white nationalist trash on a goddamn beach. Go f*** yourselves. I'm here enjoying.
Oh,
This guy's got some problems, man.
depends who's holding the flag.
Yes.
The holder of the flag has to be someone he approves of.
I mean, it wouldn't matter. These people are triggered by the American flag. You probably
Yes.
didn't see it, but there were people on the streets of New York City yesterday burning American flags and chanting death to America and stuff on our Independence Day.
See, I didn't even know that was legal. I just learned like last week that it's okay to burn an American flag. I thought you're not allowed to do that,
No, you are. That's actually the accepted way to dispose of an American flag.
which is really interesting.
Yeah, you're supposed to take when it's time to get rid of a flag, you're supposed to take it to like your local VA,
Mhm. I'm
and
sure they would put it to good use.
they burn it.
Oh, Wow, I thought
Well,
they'd make
that's-
a quilt or something.
no. So there, well, I don't know. I mean,
Or
there's
nursing home
there's a
person.
there's a flag code, and it has like all the rules of what you're supposed to do and not do with the flag.
Aw.
Remember, you were reading about how you're not supposed to let the American flag fly at night without a light on it.
Oh yes, we were reading different facts about it. We actually hung our flag yesterday.
Yeah, we got our flag up yesterday,
Yes.
and we got our appeal to heaven flag up yesterday.
We are all decked out. Our house looks like.
You can very easily tell our politics from the outside of our house.
Yeah, I
Yes.
was like, do you think anyone will guess what our political affiliation is?
Yeah,
when they drive by.
Well, it's so funny how that appeal to heaven flag, it like triggers libs really bad.
Yeah, even more than the American flag.
Even more than the American flag, the appeal to heaven flag. Do you know the story behind the appeal to heaven flag?
The revolutionaries, they basically said, like, if nobody will listen to us, and all we can do is appeal to heaven.
When there's no one else to appeal to, you'd appeal to
Right.
heaven. And it was commissioned by George Washington. It was inspired by a passage in John Locke's second treatise of government. And the left is like, it's a Christian nationalist flag.
I mean, heaven is definitely a religious term,
But it's like,
obviously.
it's literally everybody's religion. There's a heaven in almost every religion, right? So it's like, it's so, but the thing is that because the reason why the left is so triggered by it, and some people flew it actually, BLM flew that flag during the riots of 2020.
Oh, wow.
During the pandemic.
Yeah.
But they actually now are triggered by it because some of the patriots on January 6th flew it.
Yes.
So they were all
So
just
if the wrong people use it, then it's no longer cool.
It's no longer good. Yes, and it's now a symbol of Christian white supremacy. By the way, we do sell these flags.
We sure do. apforlibertyshop.com. Actually, forlibertyshop.com.
Thank you,
Excuse
Steffi.
me.
Yes,
This is my first time on the show since that name change.
I do that.
And-
Look what
and
you
my-
got there.
Yes.
What is Chicken wearing today?
Well, thanks to Liz Fanning Press, she bought us this little baby onesie that says, "My heart belongs to Calvin Coolidge," and it has a little Calvin Coolidge underneath, and it's actually in our shop.
Cool. So baby Hazel's got a
Yeah.
little Calvin Coolidge tee to wear.
Yeah, so for
Nice.
now it's just the chicken's little onesie,
Yes.
but we will put it on baby Hazel soon.
Right, Hazel will be here very soon.
She's 6 pounds, 11 ounces.
Wow, she's big.
Yeah, we're almost 37 weeks on Monday.
Big baby.
Yeah, the doctor said it'll be like 3 days before the due date, 3 days after the due date, which is July 29th. So
We missed the July.
we still got
I
time.
want her to be born on the July 4th. Do you think you can hold her in there until next 4th of July? That would be good.
I know. Yeah, we were both kind of like waiting for a sign yesterday. I was like, because we were at Lake of the Ozarks in a pool. I was like, if my water breaks in a pool, will I notice?
I think so. It's be kind of like a deflated beach ball or a basketball. Grizz Cheese over there in the chat. What's up, Grizz? Says
It's new.
he's been around a little while. Says that the Boy Scouts, well, I guess they're not Boy Scouts anymore. They're them scouts, also do flag ceremonies to retire old flags. So there you go. So take it to the them scouts.
Take it to the scouts.
Take
yeah.
it to the scouts, and they will burn the flag for you. So
All right.
now you know burning flags. All right. So the news. He's not leaving. He's not effing leaving. It's like that scene from Wolf of Wall Street, where Jordan Belfort comes out and he's like, "I'm not leaving." You're gonna have to get a wrecking ball to drive me out of here.
I love that movie.
I know it's a
We've
great.
watched it a few times now.
Yes, I love that movie.
Yes.
And I love that Joe Biden is staying around. It's wonderful news.
We need him to.
We need him to
We
stay
need
there.
him to stay, Biden. Stay, please.
Won't you stay?
I'm terrified that he's gonna leave. Honestly.
Just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Great news. Trump expands lead over Biden as age worries grow, according to the Wall Street Journal.
Oh, I believe it. I mean, the Democrats I've talked to so far, they're concerned about Biden. They do not like any of the choices on the ballot right now. And they want another candidate. They don't know what to do. I feel like they're lost. And we finally have them in this vulnerable spot where we can be like, come on over. It's safe. Let's compromise.
Just stay just a little bit longer.
They don't feel confident anymore
I
about
love
what they got.
I know, and it's so great. I love it. I'm reading all these headlines in the morning. This one struck me yesterday. Came out on CNN. Biden tells Democratic governors he needs more sleep and plans to stop scheduling events after 8 p.m. Where's the evil laugh button? I don't even have to fake it because I've got one going on.
Well, Kamala.
Oh, God. I got a Kamala supercut ready for you coming up here of her laughing. Yes.
Well, they claim that, I think they said George Bush used to go to sleep at like 9 o'clock, and then John F. Kennedy or somebody would cook. No, George Bush would cook dinner at like 6 o'clock.
Mhm.
They were basically trying to say it's okay that Biden goes to sleep at 8 o'clock. But no, when you're the president, anything can happen at any hour, and you have to be
Yes.
able to wake up.
They say he pretty much only works 6 hours a day. So which means that
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
think about who else is running the show. Well, what's funny is that there was another story too that talked about that Joe Biden has like a rigorous like nap regime. Well,
Successful people do like to nap, which I'm not going to hate on nappers.
here's the thing. Here's the thing about that was that all of like the conservatives and MAGA people were all like ripping on Joe Biden for like being a napper, and anybody who like stepped in and was like online and was like, "Oh yeah, I think naps are good," was just getting demolished by them because everybody's like trying to attack Biden. But
Naps are good.
So I didn't step in and remind them that, by the way, Calvin Coolidge was a napper. Did you know this?
I think so. There's so many people that were nappers.
Yeah, Calvin Coolidge, like when during his White House term, he was a regular napper. He would take like power naps each day as a way to like power through it. But he would also continue to work throughout the rest of the day. And I'm sure he worked past 8 p.m. Yeah.
I mean, you and I, we take a nap midday.
Yes. And then we go back to work. We basically split up our day into pre-nap, post-nap, right? Else we probably wouldn't survive because, get up at 4:30. Then we work until like lunch, eat lunch, take a nap, wake back up, work until 8 p.m.
Right.
Basically.
And then go to sleep again.
And then go right back to sleep. Yes. So President Joe Biden told Democratic governors during a meeting at the White House on Wednesday that part of his plan going forward is to stop scheduling events after 8 p.m. so that he can get more sleep. Oh.
So what time is the next debate at?
That's a great question.
You have to have these debates during prime time, or else everybody's going to be at work while you're debating.
Yeah.
Unless they're going to pre-record it and then play it afterwards. That would be interesting.
Yep. The White House did not immediately comment about what the president said to the governors. A Biden campaign aide argued that Biden was engaged in hours of official work in addition to the hours of campaign work. President George W. Bush went to bed at 9.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
And President Barack Obama made dinner at 6:30.
Oh, it was Barack. Okay, yes.
Is 6:30 supposed to be early?
We
for dinner?
make dinner anywhere between 5 something and 7 something.
We usually do dinner between like 5:30 and 7.
Right.
Yeah, but my guess is because we're getting old. Soon we're going to eat dinner at like 2 p.m.
Again, they're just trying to make it okay. They're like, it's okay. Biden goes to sleep early. But you know why he shouldn't do anything after 8 is because that's when sundowners typically sets in. Because anybody who has a grandma or grandpa, they know
yes,
they start getting confused around that hour.
Yes.
So that's really the reason why.
I like this headline from the Associated Press. I don't know if you saw this one, Steffi. I did put it in the rundown, but it says Biden at 81.
Yeah.
Sharp and focused, but sometimes confused and forgetful.
But those are complete opposites.
Yes. Water, slippery and wet, but sometimes dry and arid.
Oh, there's so much manipulation going on in the news right now. I was reading all of these articles and I was like, you're trying to mess with my head.
Yeah.
No, you are.
Oh, yeah.
Meaning the news.
Right. It makes me so ashamed to have to share the same initials with the Associated Press. Biden at 81. Yes. He is sharp and focused, but sometimes confused and forgetful. It reminds me of
8 p.m.
Well, it reminds me a little bit of the fiery but mostly peaceful meme.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Okay, so during the 2020 Black Lives Matter riots, they had a CNN reporter was out there saying that the protests, and they had the chyron at the bottom of the screen. The protests said protests fiery but mostly peaceful.
Oh, I see. I
Right.
see.
Sharp and focused. Biden's
Right.
sharp and focused, but sometimes confused and forgetful, you know?
Yeah. I guess that's how we all are, right?
No. You're either sharp or
Yeah.
focused or you're forgetful. I've got some clips here of the liberal journalists claiming that they didn't try to cover up Biden's deteriorating mental condition. Here's the supercut.
There's a narrative that Joe Biden is an old man, of course, and I'm not disputing that he's not 81 years old, but
we are going to separate the fact from the fiction because there are a lot of videos going around about President Biden on social media.
These videos, I mean, they're blatant lies.
They are lying to their audience.
Making up and distorting things about the current president.
Trying to get people to believe visuals that aren't real.
The videos are oftentimes made up.
Deceptively edited videos known as cheap fakes.
A cheap fake, at least that's what the White House calls this viral video of President Biden.
The White House says there's a cheap fake problem.
Cheap fakes.
Cheap fakes.
Cheap fakes, videos of real events that are intentionally manipulated.
We're hearing about so-called cheap fakes.
Cheap fakes.
Cheap fakes.
Cheap fakes.
Cheap fakes.
Distorted, out of context videos, chopped up in certain ways, constructed in certain ways.
Look at him. Look at Biden. It is not true. He was fine, but they are creating this narrative.
The technology is just going to get more and more efficient at making these videos look more and more real when they're really not.
You can see in the press release they were told to say cheap fake.
Yeah.
I mean, they literally are being hand-fed this information.
Yeah, they're lapdogs.
Oh, yeah.
They're lapdogs. So the White House reporter, Karine Jean-Pierre, says that they're cheap fakes, and so the media just follows along. They just do whatever the White House says.
This is a new term. I bet this will be the term of 2024.
Yeah, cheap fakes will definitely be one of the big ones.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we have deep fakes, which is really actually fake.
Right,
where
completely fake.
You pretend that person's actually doing something. So now a cheap fake is where you take something out of context.
Right, where it's like edited to make it look worse than it actually was.
Right.
Right. Which none of these were. None of these videos were just exactly what they were, and they were calling them cheap fakes.
I could see where sometimes our interpretations might be taking this out of context.
Right.
You know, where we're like, oh, look, Biden's looking in the background. He looks really confused. Maybe there was like a bee or something, or, you know, maybe there really was an actual true story behind this that makes him not seem like a weirdo. We're just making up the story. We don't really know why he's looking off in the distance. Maybe he really saw something. Maybe that MFer is not real.
But wait, there was. Oh, yes. This was a video I showed that when we were leaving the pregnancy center the other day. I showed you this video when we were walking out the door. This was one of the funniest moments in the last week. A reporter of this total Karen reporter who's apparently she's the head of the White House press corps. But she's talking to Karine Jean-Pierre, and she's encouraging her to have the president come and respond to the reporter's questions, when suddenly from the peanut gallery in the back, we get one of the funniest comments of the year. Yes, here it is.
He's absolutely running. Yeah. Well, he's saying that, and I'm sharing with you his view. And we would invite the president to come here and tell us that directly. Noted, Kelly. But
he's awake.
That's inappropriate. As you heard from your colleague, the president of the WHA, that's inappropriate. Thank you, Kelly.
Oh boy.
That's inappropriate. That's inappropriate.
Oh dear.
Bitch.
We're all human.
Bro, for like 1 second, a reporter in there like has the comment of the century.
He was probably fired.
Oh, dude. I mean, they probably demoted him, pay cuts, took him. I mean, and first of all, he's a man. How dare a man speak when two women are speaking?
Oh, absolutely.
Right. She's in there. I would invite President Biden to come out here and speak to me. Has this you could tell that from the video that there's a rapport between these two ladies here. And then she's got this total Karen vibe going on. There was this meme that went around for a little while. Oh, Siraj Hashmi posted it. Did you see this meme of she looks kind of like an NPC, but she's got red hair. Okay, take a look over here at the screen. See this woman right there? Did you see this?
I see her.
Remember when she was kind of like blowing up about a month ago?
What does she say?
So she's kind of like an NPC chick. Hold on, let me
Uh-huh.
pull her up on the screen so the people can see here. She's kind of like an NPC girl.
She looks nice.
Well, the point is that she's just like your typical liberal female. Like,
Yeah, she's like mid.
She's mid. Yeah, your typical mid liberal female, which is to represent this chick in the White House, the president of the White House press corps, who gets very uppity when somebody dares to suggest that if the president doesn't come, it might be because he's actually asleep. Let's hear this one more time.
He's absolutely running. Yeah. Well, he's saying that, and I'm sharing with you his view. And we would invite the president to come here and tell us that directly. Noted, Kelly. But he's awake. That's inappropriate.
Oh my gosh! I wonder if that man, if we know who he is, if he's identified.
It could be. You know who it is? If they he probably didn't get demoted. I think it might have been Peter Doocy.
Oh, okay.
So
whoever it is, they should definitely own up to that. I think they've become popular.
Well, if it was Peter Doocy at Fox, he probably got himself a raise.
Oh, good for him.
Yes, that's good stuff. It's good
all
stuff.
these videos remind me, wasn't there a video a long time ago where it showed all of these news outlets saying the exact same phrase over and over again?
Oh yeah. Well, that was
I remember that was a viral
few
clip.
years ago. Yeah.
And that was the first time where I was like, wow,
yes.
all of these news people are being fed information.
Well, a lot of these
same thing is
reporters
happening again.
A lot of these people aren't journalists so much as they are just reporters. Right. So like, they just read what's given to them on the teleprompter. And a lot of
they clearly do. They read every little word on there.
Right. Even when there's mistakes on there, they read the mistakes. Real quick, let's reset for those who might just be tuning in right now. Quantum Kitty joining us live. Good morning, Quantum. Courtney Conover is here. Dad Dog Baboon. John Knox. Will Riot. All of our good friends joining us live here.
All the regulars.
Yeah, quick question, guys. Have you clicked that like button yet? If not, what's going on? What's preventing you? Just reach on over there with a jaundiced fingernail and click that like button. We'd be very grateful. If it's your first time watching the Wake Up America show, subscribe. Like and follow. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you join us on our regular schedule, which is Mondays through Fridays, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. The Wake Up America show streams live 2 hours, 5 days a week, except for the 4th of July when we appreciate a day off like everybody else.
I mean, that is our most holy holiday of the entire year.
Morning, Ruby. Oh, Stephen Rue joining us live. Good old Stevie. Texas 55681 says he usually can't tune in live, but man, this show is great. That is funny. Thank you very much. And what do you mean you can't tune in live?
How dare you?
Glad to have you here, guys. We appreciate you. It's Friday, and we're all excited about it. He's napping.
Lots of people are napping during our show.
He's taking the Joe Biden nap.
Yes.
We've got a billion other clips. Let's see. The one about the reporter like chastising the other reporter for daring to say if he's awake makes me laugh really hard. Donald Trump's campaign just dropped a new ad. Let's see if it looks good or no. Okay, here we go. Very dramatic.
America is back.
Highest inflation rate in the U.S. at the pump.
The southern border is collapsing. Climb of COVID infections.
We amplify our power. We summoned a new strength.
This is a recruitment ad.
Should we be embarrassed?
Diplomacy is back.
Now the Taliban are back.
Kabul is not in an imminent threat environment.
The likelihood there's going to be the Taliban overrunning everything and owning the whole country is highly unlikely.
They own the whole country now, the Taliban.
The Taliban are now in complete control of Afghanistan. Complete chaos.
How did President Biden get this so wrong?
Well, first of all, the mission hasn't failed yet.
If this isn't failure, what does failure look like exactly?
Biden, you destroyed not Afghanistan, but the world!
I don't care if you think I'm Satan reincarnated. Do I bear responsibility? Zero responsibility.
China is ready for friendly relations with the Taliban.
feel like they're gonna stop at the door and they're the Taliban and they're gonna come in and kill us.
Slow down, everybody.
We have to ask the Taliban for permission for American citizens to leave. True or not true? They are in control.
I can't think of anyone better to lead this operation than
They're just chanting death to America.
And you call yourself the president?
Not bad. Not bad.
That's a cheap fake.
Pretty yeah, it's all a cheap fake. Thank you, Stephanie.
I mean, they're taking clips from God knows where.
Meanwhile, Joe Biden.
I'm still wondering who he wants to put in place there. He never finished his sentence. Who he wants to help out with the effort in the war.
I'm not leaving.
I'm not fucking leaving!
Only he was really competent, that guy.
Yeah, actually, well, confident in ripping people off and stealing from people. Yes.
Yes.
Leaked video shows Donald Trump saying he thinks Kamala Harris will be the Democratic nominee. You saw this video of him on the golf court?
Oh, I did.
This is Barron Trump.
Secret cameras.
Secret camera recording. Let's watch.
What did I do with the debate the other night?
Oh, amazing.
Kicked that old broken down pile of crap.
Yeah.
It's a bad guy. He just quit, you know. He's quitting the race. Is that right? Yep, I got him out of the race. And that means we have Kamala. I think she's going to be better. She's so bad. She's so pathetic. It's so amazing. It's just so fucking bad. So I just can't imagine. But can you imagine that guy dealing with Putin and the president of China, who's a fierce person? He's a fierce man. A very tough guy, and they see him. They can't. But they just announced he's probably quitting. Good.
I don't know. When Trump asked these worker people, "How did I do at the debate last night?" He's totally stroking his ego. I don't know. That was kind of cringe.
Oh, I mean,
oh, we love you, Trump. Let's bow down.
Well, they do.
What if they said you sucked? You know, what would happen?
I mean, I don't know.
They can't say that to him. But anyway,
I doubt it.
He's
He
just
did
a little
fine.
cocky.
Well, here's the thing. Well, he is, but here's the thing. And this is the meme that's going around. Everybody's talking about. I don't know if I have it pulled up here, but they're talking about how Donald Trump apparently has learned his lessons. They're comparing him to like the Velociraptor in Jurassic Park that figures out how to open the door.
Oh, right.
Because the Democrats are running around screaming like chickens with their heads cut off. They're freaking out.
Oh, they are.
Joe Biden is
America's
sounding
a
like
nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him.
and Trump, for the most part, other than that leaked video, has been just quiet. Right? He hasn't
He's been on his best behavior.
He could have easily come out, done press conferences, said a bunch of stupid stuff to try to steal the limelight. Instead, he's learning from Sun Tzu: never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake.
Yeah, people can dig their own grave. They will eventually.
But the thing is that yeah, exactly. Is that when the Democrats are in this state of panic right now, the right move is to let them have the spotlight. Just keep letting them do what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
Continue to stay on this path. Allow them to make these mistakes, and we'll be doing just fine. Because Trump, before, the earlier Trump, would get in the way of them making the mistake, and then that would be an error on their part, and then all of a sudden the media is talking about him. We want the media focused on Biden. We want them talking about what's going on with Joe Biden, because the dominant narrative now is that Biden says he's staying in the race, and everybody else is wondering, should we even support him staying in the race?
I don't know. I'm kind of scared if they're going to keep the spotlight on Biden, because then he may actually step down, and then we might have Kamala.
And then she'll win.
I'm terrified of her because I know she's going to get the black vote, the woman vote, the Democrat vote. She's going to take all these votes that are going in all different directions right now.
Yep, the voting with the vaginas.
Yeah. Trump would be in big, big trouble.
Yeah, I think you might be right. President Biden yesterday gave a speech outside the White House. CNN domestic did not carry this. Only CNN International did. Take a listen.
Which I want to do. There's 7,000 people waiting at the gate to get in. So if I don't finish this, they can't come in. So maybe if you're hanging around, I'm going to sneak back out if that's okay, all right? Thank you. Remember that famous expression?
Hold on.
They also serve who only stand and wait. I remember when our son was deployed, my wife would go to stand in the sink in the morning, drinking her coffee, and saying that prayer, worrying, always concerned, and all of you. So we owe you. This could not be done without the family support. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We love you, and I really mean it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Thank you. You got me, man. I'm not going anywhere. All right.
I'm not leaving.
Oh my God.
All right, I'll come back out when they open the gate. Okay.
I'm gonna take a nap.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
It's like I change
One
my
last thing.
diapers.
You know, I used to think when I was a senator.
His aides probably freak out every time he's like, I'm gonna go off the cuff and say what he wants to say here.
There were always congestion on the highways. There's no congestion anymore. None. We go on the highway, there's no congestion. And so the way they get me to stop talking, they'll say, we just shut down all the roads, Mr. President. You're going to lose all the votes if you don't get in. But anyway, I'll be back out. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. Thank you.
At least he can say thank you.
I didn't understand any of that stuff.
He needs to stop telling stories. He needs to stop quoting specific numbers.
No, he needs to keep telling stories. He needs to keep numbers.
Is that a real prayer? I mean, you would know about this worry. What is this
it
prayer?
might be. I don't know. Maybe it's one they use at black churches because I didn't grow up saying anything like that. But here's another part of Joe Biden's speech yesterday.
And by the way, I've been all over the world with you. I've been in and out of battles anyway. And by the way,
oh God,
that's in a speech that he gave to members of the U.S. military.
Oh great, I'm sure that went over real well.
He's been all over the world with them, and he's been in and out of battles.
And by the way, I've been all over the world with you. I've been in and out of battles.
Oh dear. I mean, didn't you say that they were going to give him basically like the next few events and see how he does?
Yeah, so he had like a rally in Pennsylvania, I think one in Virginia, I'm not entirely sure, but he was supposed to, at these rallies, kind of just determine those would determine whether or not he'd be able to go on. But he's apparently he's being advised by his son, Hunter Biden, and the head of like the White House Intelligence Committee is out there saying, or the head of the Intelligence Committee in Congress is asking if Hunter Biden is now sitting in on high-level meetings,
right?
Because apparently Joe Biden has started having Hunter kind of like helping him get around, which is
listen to your son who's a drug addict.
No, I mean,
good idea.
You know, it's
maybe he's slipping him some drugs. Maybe it's the cocaine.
Well, you know what?
Cocaine would probably make Biden feel a lot better.
It was like a year ago, I think, this week that they found the cocaine in the White House, which was interesting.
He was slipping it to his daddy.
Yeah. I think Kamala Harris had a bit of a Freudian slip at the 4th of July celebrations yesterday. Listen to this.
And we give thanks to our Commander-in-Chief, the President of the United States, the extraordinary President of the United States, Joe Biden.
Oh!
What?
Happy Independence Day.
Happy Independence Day.
He doesn't even know what holiday it is.
Okay, so that reminds me of those memes.
Yeah, well, there are actually like shirts and shops that say "ho ho ho." You know,
I saw one yesterday at the pool.
Easter.
Some guy was wearing one at the pool yesterday, and it showed Joe Biden with all the 4th of July stuff on, and he was saying "Merry Christmas."
He's picked up on that joke, and he's rolling with it. Maybe he's just trying to make fun of himself.
If it were, that would be like the most lucid that he's been in a long time. Ho ho ho! But I liked that Kamala Harris was like the president. She's like so eager.
Her shouting voice is cringe.
Oh, dude, you think her shouting voice is cringe? Listen to this. Poor hubby. Poor hubby.
No.
Can you imagine 8 years of that? 8 years.
her vice president would be.
He knows how to sell right there. Okay.
We should make that our alarm noise at 4 a.m. We make it every single day.
Exactly. So,
I'd be awake, that's for sure.
Jeez.
But yeah, really, who would be her vice president? Wouldn't that be fun?
I know exactly who it would be. I know exactly. You want to see it?
Clinton?
No. Here it is.
Oh.
You ready? Here's who her next. Here is who she would pick for her.
Jill Biden?
Jill Biden, yes.
God. Maybe Joe Biden would be.
Can you imagine? 8 years. Potential
Imagine
years.
all of those political women at a comedy show, like Hillary Clinton laughing, Kamala, all of those fake laughers. That would be the worst comedy show ever.
Oh, Jesus, Christ, 8 years of this stuff. 8 years. No, God.
Our country's screwed if Kamala gets in. I mean, like, literally. I don't know how we'd turn back if she got into office. I don't know how we'd turn back all the things she would do.
If I could,
She'd take away all of our freedoms, everything.
So if they choose Vice President Kamala Harris to step in for Joe Biden, some of the Democrats are like, well, she'll have to answer for comments that she made like this.
Among the people that would step up if Biden stepped aside.
Yeah, Kamala Harris is the clear front runner, and it's not clear who, if anybody, would actually challenge her for the nomination. But the thing is that she, we talked about credibility. She's going to have to, first of all, answer the fact that she's been one of the main public validators of his health. You remember after her report, she went out there and said he is with it. He is commanding everything in the room. She's going to have to sit down and answer tough questions. I mean, we talked about Joe Biden hasn't really been out there with reporters. Kamala Harris.
Pause for just a moment. Yeah. She's going to have to answer tough questions.
She knows how to answer tough questions. She just goes in circles.
Yes. She would say, we're looking to the future, unburdened by what has been.
Absolutely.
You to become.
She would just be like, when I made that comment, it was true.
It was unburdened.
Truth can change.
Yeah, but
it did change.
Right, but the fact that a reporter is saying on CNN of all places, national political reporter for Axios, that Kamala Harris is going to have to answer difficult questions in the next 4 months, you will see the journalists run and cover like you have never seen before, more than they did for Biden in the last several months with his cognitive decline. Let's continue
Harris,
on here.
Besides that initial CNN and MSNBC interview right after the debate, she hasn't really been out there answering questions. And they're going to be, if Joe Biden drops out, the first week that she is out there is going to be critical. Because if there's any signs of chinks in the armor, there are many, as you just said, there are many people in the wings that are ready to pounce as soon as
are being had among the people that would.
And they're saying that this is what she said that she's
so
have to
the way
for.
That the president's demeanor in that report was characterized could not be more wrong on the facts and clearly politically motivated. So the way
she's still being vague in what she's saying.
Well,
she could totally go back on all that.
Oh, for sure. And they're not going to make her answer difficult questions, right? But the Robert Hur report was a test. It wasn't exactly a cognitive test, but it was like a fitness test to some extent that Joe Biden sat down with this guy to take this test.
Really?
Yeah, and they won't release like the video evidence from it at all and stuff. And he won't take a cognitive test. Like Trump has taken like 3 cognitive tests and released them to the public. And didn't we look at those? I think we took. I'm pretty sure we took the test at one point.
It was actually kind of hard. Not gonna lie.
Wasn't it just like this is a lot like pick the lion out of like the animals?
Yeah, and then you had to like remember certain words, and then you had to do some math problems. So it really tested your memory and your recall quite a bit. So I don't know, but Kamala, she knows how to talk her way out of anything, and I think the majority of Americans will be duped by her, and they'll love her.
You think that they'll fall for it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's hard to disagree. It's hard to disagree.
Yeah, because she's a woman. She's empowering. That's what the Democrats love.
Hey, can I tell you something? You probably didn't see this because there's a lot going on the last couple of days, and we don't have to dwell on it for too long because I think ultimately it's kind of irrelevant. Remember when I told you about how the Libertarian Party of Colorado was refusing to put their candidate on the ballot?
Yes.
So it appears as if they have actually decided on a candidate to put on the ballot.
Not Chase Oliver?
Not Chase Oliver. Can you guess?
Austin Peterson?
That's a good guess, Stephanie. My wife, ladies and gentlemen, she loves me. No, take another guess.
I'll take a real guess.
They're already a candidate for president of the United States this year. So they are running right now. Can you?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to put RFK on the ballot for the Libertarian Party line.
Right. Because he was going to be on it. I forget why he couldn't be one of the candidates. Him, Trump, when they were at the convention.
I mean, we don't need to get into the nitty-gritty of the inter-party politics there on that. But the point is that
he qualified.
Yeah, he did. Trump didn't. But but now he's going to appear on the Libertarian Party of Colorado's ballot line for the November election, which is kind of weird and wild and wacky.
How do they do that? Are you allowed to just replace the actual candidate with somebody else?
Yeah. The thing is that every state party can decide who they will place on their ballot.
So they must have had a formal conference and voted on this.
Maybe at the Denny's, at the local.
Right. I used to go to those local party meetings. We would go to a restaurant.
You go to like the Waffle House.
I forget the name of it, but yeah, we would have dinner. It would be at a nice restaurant.
Perkins.
And yeah, just in a little party room.
Yes. But, people are obviously freaking out about it. But I mean, they're always freaking out about everything. But it's kind of a big deal because this is a guy who wants to raise the minimum wage. This is a guy who is, who thinks that people like you and I ought to be in jail because we're being libertarians and stuff and denying climate science, right?
Heard much about Chase Oliver. Honestly, he has not shown his face.
Well, he's gone.
Now that Gay Pride Month is over, what's he doing?
Well, he was going to all the Pride rallies.
Right, that was kind of. He's just resting because it was just so exhausting this past month.
Yeah, because the LGBT community, they love voting for libertarians. So he probably got all 6 of their votes. So
yeah, I actually went to a Gay Pride festival in Kansas City for your Senate campaign.
I remember that. Yeah,
and I was at the table promoting you.
I actually, yes, and I remember that. And you and Madison and Andy, I think you guys went down there together.
Yep.
We were like the only Republican there.
Yeah.
I was the only Republican at the Juneteenth celebration as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think we had that much interest, but to people.
I wish more Republicans would go to like those events like that, just try and bring over a few votes. You know what I mean?
Right. Because not all Republicans hate gay people.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, some Republicans are gay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like my brother.
That's true.
He's going to be joining us here in about 15 minutes.
Oh my gosh, it's already time.
Yeah, time's flying by.
Wow.
Big gay Republicans. We need to write a song.
About gay Republicans?
About big gay Republicans.
I do have a dream. I told you, when I was in second grade, we had this concert and we had to say what we wanted to be in front of the entire audience. And I said, I want to be a singer because I like singing songs to other people. And so that is the one dream that I have never made come true. And we need to become like a Sonny and Cher before the end of our life.
And it wasn't for me, Miss Gypsy Rose Lee. Like I said yesterday, it's a miracle I wasn't a homosexual.
Yeah, I know we were talking about that.
It wasn't for me, Miss Gypsy Rose Lee. The Wake Up America Show brought to you in part by viewers and listeners like you. Clicking that like button and subscribe to the channel. Good morning, Liz. Everybody's liking the haircut
Liz
today.
Is here?
Look, it's Liz. Hey, Liz, check it out. Check it out. There's the onesie.
It's our chicken until it's on Hazel.
There it is.
Thank you, Liz.
What does it say, Steffi?
It says, "My heart belongs to Kelvin Coolidge." Liz came up with that. She gave us the idea.
That is why I know you go on.
ForLibertyShop.com.
Let's do a little quick
Do
plug.
we have a doc today?
Do we have a doc? No, not today.
Oh.
Not today.
Oops. But still, send in rands. That's cool.
The For Liberty Shop is open. Or head on over to the For Liberty Shop. Courtney Conover says, "Hey, I knew many straight men in theater when I was involved. They also loved redheads." It's true.
Oh, really? Yeah, we noticed when we were at the pool yesterday, there was just me and one other girl that were redheads.
Yes,
the Lake
it was
of the Ozarks
very
pool.
rare. You were the beautiful one though. She was just kind of mid.
Oh, thank you.
That was the Tiny Patriots collection. Can you talk about that real quick on our? Because I'm pulling it up right now on the screen so people can look at it.
Myself.
Tiny Patriots.
So it's infant and toddler gear. We still have to get our kids gear up because we don't really have many kids sizes.
We've got Commander and Cute George Washington bodysuit.
Baby founding fathers.
Yes.
Betsy Ross, Thomas Jefferson, George Washington.
Yeah, and I need to get a copy of
like anything. You're not going to find this at Target, you guys. It's not going to be next to the rainbow onesies.
Yep, Steffi designed these. We've got Betsy Ross, Tiny Patriot. I like this one. I only cry when Democrats hold me. 5 stars.
Yes. Crying is free speech. Somebody just bought that one the other day. Because you have to start the kids early. We're going to start Hazel early. We have a little baby constitution.
I like this one. World's cutest tax deduction.
Yes.
Another good one. Yes.
That's right. Let's see how much benefit we get on our taxes. I mean, from just getting married, I don't know that we really got much of a benefit.
It used to be. I think it used to be a lot, and now it's just like $1,000 a year, right?
Yeah, because before I got married, I was like, the only reason I really care about marriage is for the taxes.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think you really get much for that.
You used to, but they got rid of all that stuff, right? I like the come and take it with the
pacifier.
The don't tread on me Lego block.
Because it hurts like a MFer when you tread on a Lego block.
Thank you, Steffi. We appreciate that one. Tiny Patriots feast blankets, infant
we
bodysuits.
just bought our blanket just the other day, and there's even like a little infant hat. Yeah, we really want to get Hazel a lot of those clothes. The bummer about babies is they grow out of everything. So it's like you buy it and then they can only wear it for like a few weeks, and then you have to buy something else.
Right. Well,
that's their size.
Well,
that sucks.
That's why we need to have like a whole child collection. So
I know, so she can grow with me.
Exactly. So head to forlibertyshop.com. Check out our awesome patriotic merchandise. Where Eagles dare. Forlibertyshop.com.
We saw an eagle yesterday.
Oh yeah, we did. That was a great story.
Crazy happenstance. Eagles have been one of my favorite animals. I have only seen them now
twice.
Actually, 3 times. One time I did see one in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. But yes, I saw one at the lake or at the river with you a year ago or so. But it was kind of a sickly looking bald eagle.
It was molting.
Yes. And so we were driving from Lake of the Ozarks back home, and then we saw these 2 giant birds that were kind of fighting like in the road area a little bit above my car. And then we were like, "Oh my gosh, we see white." So we saw the white neck and then white on the back, and we were like, "That's an eagle."
Yeah, he was he was harassing a buzzard that was flying next to him, so he's giving him a hard time.
Maybe they were fighting over food.
Yeah, they're both like carry-on eaters, and eagles are what do you call it? They're opportunistic feeders, so they will like steal kills from other birds and stuff.
Oh,
so that's
really?
kind of what
I
they do.
didn't know that.
Right. So it could have been that.
How is that libertarian? They steal from others. They're treading on other people.
Well, it might not be libertarian, but it's certainly very American.
My land.
That's my land.
Yesterday, it was the Eagles' holiday, and he was like, "You know what, bro? It's the 4th of July.
Get out of my hair."
This.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
This is mine. Give it to me. I'll take it. Yes.
So it was really awesome.
The condor was not the condor, but the
other bird,
the
whatever
buzzard
it was
the Native American, and it was the colonists.
So symbolic. Oh my goodness. Oh.
That's funny. We've got Justin Peterson joining us here live in about 10 minutes. So make sure that during the break that you visit forlibertyshop.com. That's the number 4libertyshop.com, doing a little shopping. One more story before we go to Justin. Did you read that about the sign snatchers beware, the campaign poster story in the Wall Street Journal? The tracking devices that they're starting.
Snatchers. No, I didn't see that one.
Okay, so
I must have missed that one.
So there, did you ever see that video of that guy who hooked up an electric current to his sign, his Trump sign in his yard?
No.
And then what a video where he, when the guy, people would come in and try and steal his Trump sign.
Well, that makes sense.
And they would
Okay,
get,
so
it was
they'd
like
get
an
electrocuted.
electric fence. And so there's all these videos of these liberals grabbing the Trump sign and like getting a jolt by trying to steal the Trump sign. Well, they've got this, nowadays people are using AirTags, Apple AirTags.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I definitely would be interested in those.
Yeah, so
that you know where your sign went.
Exactly.
But can people remove it?
If they know it's there, but they don't always know it's there, obviously. So the Wall Street Journal interviewed this guy, John Ditmore, who says, I just wanted it to stop. He's running in a Republican primary for a seat in Florida, said he believed he was being targeted. He decided to put up a replacement sign with the tracking device at an intersection where others had disappeared. After setting the trap, he spent 3 hours one night stalking out the intersection in hopes of spotting the would-be thieves. Eventually, he gave up and went home to bed.
What dedication.
His wife woke him up when her iPhone showed the sign on the move. He called the police, and then he tracked the AirTag to a truck that was parked in the driveway of the home about 8 miles from the intersection. Officers questioned the two teens. When they learned about the tracking device, the kids' eyes bugged out. Yes.
Oh, they were teenagers.
They were charged with criminal mischief and grand theft for taking the signs, 9 of his signs.
Oh my God.
Which had a total value of more than $1,100.
So it is illegal to remove.
Oh, you
the
damn
sign.
right. It's just take somebody's signs that's not
It's hard
yours.
to know who owns it. You know, finders keepers.
Well, here's the thing: you don't touch something that's not yours, and you'll be fine, right?
Yes.
Yep. So candidates and homeowners have at times taken matters in their own hands. Some have used doorbell candidates. Some of them have embedded signs with razor blades or smeared them with grease.
But signs don't work.
Well, they're not effective in changing anybody's minds for their votes.
Really, I really think they're effective because it'll stick in your mind when you go by a sign every single day. For people who aren't really in tune to politics,
It doesn't.
they're going to remember the sign they see. And when they get to the ballot,
It's more for the ego of the candidate and for the person who is supporting them than it does. Signs do not win elections. It's just freaking math.
I don't know.
Reality.
But
if signs won elections, we would have gotten a lot more votes than we did in 2018.
people recognize your name, right?
No.
Then it's like once they see it, they'll be like, "Oh, I know
Most
that person.
people
I'm going to
don't-
put a bubble next to it."
Yeah, but they don't. Most people don't do that, right? Most people don't. Most people don't vote anyway. But the type of people who do vote are probably going to, they're pay maybe a little bit more attention than most people.
Right.
And most people they just don't even look at the signs. They just kind of blaze right by it. We're sort of trained now not to pay any attention to signs that we see. I mean, you and I are like hyper political, so we always like to look at the signs and see who's got them out there. But we already know who we're voting for, for the most part,
Yeah, whenever we go by the cornfields.
Chris Estes for Cole County Assessor, damn it. We've got the best assessor in the entire state of Missouri. He's such a good assessor that when there was a protest at the Capitol, people were carrying signs saying that, support, Josh Hawley, support, whoever, blah, blah, blah. And one of the signs said, support Chris Estes, the assessor, which was kind of odd.
Yeah.
You don't typically see people out there at major conservative rallies rallying for their local assessor. But this lady who I ran into on the street, sure enough, she was carrying the sign, Chris Estes for assessor.
So it affects our money.
You're damn right it does. And what's funny is that the local Cole County establishment, the Republicans, have done everything in their power to get rid of him because they say he doesn't work fast enough. They say that that he's not doing a good job, blah, blah, blah. They say, and Chris Estes is beloved by the people of Cole County. So he always wins his elections. But the local
barely has to do any, like, he doesn't do door knocking, I don't think.
Yes.
He doesn't have to do anything.
Which just makes me laugh because like apparently the local school district, they hate him because they don't think he's moving fast enough to like raise everybody's taxes essentially. And so they always run a candidate against him, and he always clobbers them by like double digits, which you love to see it.
He's the best kind of politician.
Yeah.
It's the one who doesn't really want to do much.
Yeah.
It's like a Calvin Coolidge. It's just like,
so if you're
just sit back here.
If you're a property owner in your whatever county that you live in across the country, if you're a property owner, you need to find out if there's one race that you need to pay attention to. It's your local assessor's race, and they may have a different name for them wherever you're at. But if you own property, if you own land, right, and you're paying property taxes, find out who your local assessor is, find out who's running, find out where they stand, find out. And you'll have to actually like ask some people around town, is our assessor doing a good job? Because here's the thing. If the local government officials do not like your assessor, that's a good sign. If your local government officials, if your local judge, if your local what do you call them? Local, what do we like? Harry Otto, for example, commissioners.
Oh, so county commissioner.
Yeah, now listen, I like Sam Bushman. He's like the head commissioner, but he can't stand Chris Estes. None of them can stand Chris Estes.
There's a lot of drama.
They don't like Chris Estes. Yes. And so that's a good reason to support Chris Estes because they want more of our taxpayer dollars. So support Chris Estes for Cole County Assessor. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah, if we put out a sign, it wouldn't really make a difference because nobody goes by our house anyway.
Yeah, except for that one kid that rides the motorcycle way too loud.
Right.
Oh, crotchety, we're old. Okay, so speaking of old, my brother Justin Peterson is joining us.
It's not old.
He's older than I am. 4 years older than I am. Just kidding. Justin Peterson's going to join us here live in 5. Don't go away. Visit forlibertyshop.com. That's the number 4. Do a little shopping. forlibertyshop.com. And we'll be right back on the Wake Up America Show. wakeupAmericaShow.com.
The Cantina crew, this is Elon Musk, the CEO of Twitter. And I just want to say thank you for watching the Wake Up America Show. I've decided that Austin Peterson will be the new CEO of Twitter.com, effective immediately. First thing to do, though, is I've got to go and blast off into space.
If there wasn't going to be somebody who was a fiery champion of liberty, somebody who would get out there and who would be aggressive, and if they wouldn't do it with more fire or passion than I had, then I would go and I would fight this battle for us. I've fought for the principles that we all share. Parties tend to be secondary to me. We're here because we believe in the principles of liberty. I am not a perfect messenger, but I think I'm a damn good one. This is a replica of our first president's flintlock pistol. You have my full support, my respect, and my gun.
I think that at the heart of my philosophy is much more libertarianism than well, that's the fashionable word these days, I guess. A conservative is no longer just that. He's a libertarian and always has been.
Yet any time you and I question the schemes of the do-gooders, we're denounced as being against their humanitarian goals. They say we're always against things, we're never for anything.
What is fascism? Fascism is private ownership, private enterprise, but total government control and regulation.
Well, the trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves.
The conservative, so-called, is the one that says less government. Get off my back, get out of my pocket, and let me have more control of my own destiny.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? You can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
It's me, you, anyone that wants to be. There is no typical firefighter.
Do you hate the deep state? Do you reject the Antichrist in all his ways? Do you believe that aliens controlled LBJ to assassinate John F. Kennedy? Did you know that the shot can put chemicals in you that will make you more sensitive to 5G? Do you love America? Do you want more freedom? Do you like smoking hot red-headed libertarians? Then the AP for Liberty shop is for you! Check out all the awesome new merch and have a happy new year! Fight the deep state, reject the Antichrist! Visit AP for Liberty shop and get your patriotic merchandise now, or the deep state wins!
Welcome back to the Wake Up America show, where your host, Austin Peterson, is rising and freedoming. How about you? Freedom Family Friday is a special day. I bring my smoking hot, red-headed, libertarian, pregnant wifey, Stephanie, on to join us. Hi, Steph.
Hello. I was trying to smile like Will Sharf.
The Will Sharf smile? Here.
It's like a half, like... It's really nice teeth, though.
He does have good teeth, yes. Yeah, he's an attorney general candidate, Donald Trump's lawyer. Had a great conversation with him last week. It was really making the rounds here in Missouri. Everybody was talking about it. We had a nice conversation about the whole immunity, Chevron deference thing, which was exciting to see. The liberals are in total meltdown these days, not just because
We've got them right where they need to be.
Right. And as long as Joe Biden keeps pulling a Jordan Belfort and says, I'm not leaving, then I think we're going to be in a good position.
Oh, yeah.
But let's hear from the big gay Republican caucus, Justin Peterson, live from Boston. Look at that face he's making right now. Doesn't like it.
Is he smiling like Will Sharf?
No, he's not smiling.
You keep calling me a Republican. I'm like, are you high on your own supply?
What are you?
If it votes for a Republican, if it looks like a Republican,
who do you identify as?
Who do you? Yeah, Justin, give us your pronouns.
I'm a big I. I'm a big I. Independent.
Oh,
you're
independent. Yes.
Usually
when people say independent, they mean
I love
Democrat.
parties. I love parties, but
Yeah.
I don't like political parties. Let me just.
I
Back.
get
And
it.
then I also need to. I got words for you, child. You're calling me old here. I'm gonna come through
I was sticking up for you.
Yeah, I
I
saw
was
that.
saying he's not old.
I saw that.
Yes.
That's 2 strikes, bro. You got 2 strikes this
dare
morning
you.
on you. Call me Republican
say-
and call me old.
Yeah, I would
just keep
say
going.
independent is a
Like
good
4 years
label.
behind you, Justin.
I'm going to take you down to Texas, and I'm going to throw you in the water and let the sharks get you like they did this weekend.
Oh my God! Did you? Yeah, you saw that news. Did you see
No.
this, Stephanie? One shark bit 4 people.
4 people.
Oh, I saw a shark that was on a beach on the sand. I remember that. There was a shark that washed up,
I don't know.
and people were unsure if they should help it or not.
I don't know. All I know is that one shark bit 4 people on the Gulf Coast of Texas.
This isn't convincing me to go scuba diving anytime soon.
Well, that's because these people were up there, like on the top of the water, so they look like seals. It's not the same as
I'm a scuba diver
when you're
on top
down
of the
there
water.
and they think you're one of them. So that's a completely different story here. Hold on. Actually, I've got the video. So while we're talking about it, I can Justin's on screen too, so everybody can see the shark video here.
I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
Justin, I guess I would call myself independent too, because sometimes I vote Libertarian, sometimes I vote Republican. I don't vote Democrat nearly ever. I don't know if I would again. So yeah, independent's a good word.
I mean,
it gives
I just
us
feel
more
like,
freedom of choice.
It's more responsible to me to vote on policies and not parties.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
that's how I feel.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of people share that opinion. I hope they do. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, are we doing the shark video? Are you doing the shark
I've got it pulled up, yeah, so people can
Baby
see.
shark, do 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 do.
This is not a baby. Dude, there's blood in the water. I mean, it is pretty gruesome.
Did they die?
I don't know. I didn't see, but well, at least they're like blurring out this
there's
part
some
of
blood
it
in the
here.
water. Jeez
Yeah,
Louise.
look at there's the shark. You can actually see the shark in the surf. Like, come on back out, everybody. I'm hungry. Dun it, dun it, dun 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 dun. Nah. When they're that close into the water, when they're that close into the shore, they're desperate. So this shark was probably sick or starving. Yeah. It's because they typically, like, sharks feed in the morning and at night. I don't know why this. For some reason, this guy has decided to grab her Adam's apple and like start shaking it back and forth. Did you see that?
No.
Look at that. Isn't that weird? Look at this. Hold on. Check out this first aid here, Stephanie. Look what he's doing. So he comes up and he grabs her by the throat. Look at this, and he starts shaking her Adam's apple back and forth. Look at that. I've never heard of that kind of like first aid intervention before.
That's some holistic medical treatment there.
Holistic.
Yeah.
He's trying to align her chakras. He's like, "Can you get your chakras aligned, please?" Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Sharks are scary, man. Can I tell you a funny story about sharks? When I was a kid, I used to go to the Raymore Elementary Library, and I would go and get the library book on the sharks, that and spiders or tarantulas. So I
Why would you do that?
Justin
because I love to scare myself.
Justin was obsessed with terrifying himself.
I used to love to scare myself.
And then by extension, me. He would always talk me into his fears. So whether it was roller coasters or sharks or alligators or whatever, Justin's like, you need to be scared of this, Austin.
This is very intriguing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't until I was like 13 or so that my cousins were like, dude, it's just a roller coaster. Let's go on. And I was like, oh, okay, good. So, it's normal.
They took me, because I have a story. I have a story about roller coasters.
Do?
So when I was a kid, listen, I'm 6'5", okay? So when I was a child and I was probably like 4, I'm sure I was like 5 foot tall or something, So my mother and father thought it would be a hilarious lark to take me on a roller coaster at Worlds of Fun. And so they put me on this roller coaster, which I had no idea what a roller coaster was. I'm like 4 years old or something. And so I'm grossly large for my age.
Were
and
they
I'm like sitting
on it
there.
with you?
Yeah. I was sitting there. I was sitting there with my dad. I was with my dad, and Mom was behind me. And like we were going up the incline, and I didn't know what it was. I thought that was the ride. I thought it was going click, 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 click up the ride, And I was like, this is so fun. Yay. And then we hit that first drop, and I think Dad laughs about it. He says, you just turned white. It just turned completely white.
Oh my God.
And I can also remember I can also remember the betrayal I felt that my mother would put me on this ride. I was like, oh, you betrayed me, woman. You betrayed me. And I didn't think from that point on I could. Right. And she's on the roller coaster ride with me laughing. I'm like, what is this adult betrayal that I'm living in right now?
Shark has.
From that point on, I could not do roller coasters anymore. I still to this day can't do them. Like it was a perpetually traumatizing.
Remember when we went to Worlds of Fun last summer?
Roller coaster parks. You love going to them.
He likes the theme parks, but he doesn't like to ride the rides. He likes to be there.
I like dark. Well, I like inside rides, like dark rides, like Pirates of the Caribbean or like Haunted Mansion.
Okay,
but I can't. I'm sorry. And
what about Silver Dollar City Fire in the Hole?
I love Fire in the Hole, but that's what I'm talking about, a dark ride.
But that is a roller coaster to some extent.
Well, no, it's got a drop. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a roller coaster.
Fire in the Hole.
I love that ride with the bald knobbers. The bald knobbers.
I think they got rid of the bald knobbers because it was a little too KKK-ish.
Too PC or whatever. We had to get rid of that. I love that ride though, because you drive through the Ozarks or wherever it was you were in Missouri, and there would be some lady, like, I still remember the lady screaming at some guy outside in the yard. She's like, Cletus, get in here. I still remember that ride. I love that ride.
Cletus.
I mean, it was something like
the
that.
Ozarks, baby.
I mean, it's the Ozarks, man. And oh man, I think I rode that ride like 4 or 5 times a day. I love that ride. It's over.
Will Run Riot from Springfield, Missouri is joining us live. Says Fire in the Hole is gone, guys. It's gone. We don't have it anymore. That's awful.
It sounds like a constipation medication.
It was
or something.
Fire in
or
the
some
Hole.
Gas-X medication.
More like a hemorrhoid cream.
Yeah.
That's really sad to see, actually.
I love that ride. But you know what? It lives on YouTube. You can go on YouTube and look it up because somebody filmed, themselves riding
Do a simulation.
They closed it a couple of years ago.
I'm going to try with Baby Hazel where you put your kid in a laundry basket and you put a roller coaster scene on the screen on the television.
Yes.
You pretend they're like on the roller coaster. You're like, and you do like the drop with them in the basket. I think that'd be fun.
I'm gonna give you another insight into my personality. I couldn't even ride like the rides where you sit like that, stable in a situation, simulator with a roller coaster. I couldn't even sit in a simulator because I would be like, there was this, used to be this, I wish I could remember the name of it, Worlds of Fun. It was like this giant indoor dome and it had a screen and they had like, they would do these simulations of riding the rides at Worlds of Fun, And I can still remember this day. Like I'd have to like close my eyes because I couldn't.
You that's not true because you could do Soarin'
at Epcot.
At Disney Epcot, you were able to do Soarin'.
That was fine. Listen, here's the thing about I got a routine now. I have to talk myself up to it, and I have to go slow. Okay, so when I go to theme parks, I gotta start with slow, easy little rides first. I gotta start to get the body used to that side of thing. I can't just swam onto some hard ride and just be like, go. I can't do that. I gotta work myself up to it. I gotta stretch. I gotta stretch.
And kick. You gotta stretch.
I gotta kick because I'm 50.
And I definitely understand the fear of simulation rides. I went on the Back to the Future simulation ride at Universal Studios with my family when I was probably like 7 or so. And it jolted me so much. I literally had bruises and my mom was holding on to me because like I was so small that it was just moving me around the entire thing. Yes. So I don't know if I was just like too small to be on it and I really shouldn't have been there. But yeah, I didn't like it.
Yeah, I think my entire childhood was older people promising that something wouldn't be terrifying, and then it was terrifying. And then I would just be like, great, you lied to me.
Attachment, Justin.
This haunted house isn't going to be scary. I went on with my cousin Pace with the most amazing midway at the Missouri State Fair when they had the haunted houses, which were really just like loud, clangy, bell ringing, things with like a thing. And I think I went like this into Pace. I was just holding on to my cousin the entire time, and there would be some like ringing noise, and I would go, "Is it a skeleton? Is it a skeleton?" Because I was so afraid of skeletons when I was a kid.
Yeah, Steffi can't do haunted houses.
My
family member, man.
I kept imagining in my mind what was happening in the ride, and Pace was like, "Yes, it's a skeleton," and I was like, "I knew it, I knew it."
Yeah, Steffi and I have these conversations about like how we're gonna deal with fear in our household when Hazel comes around, because for some reason George, our French bulldog, has like gotten some new fear that he's acquired in the last few weeks.
He's afraid of his stairs. He has little doggy stairs that go up to the bed.
So if he wants to hang out with us on the bed, he needs to come up the stairs. But lately he's kind of like whined and he's like afraid to come up. I guess Calvin might have snapped at him at some point or something like that. So now he's got this fear.
On numerous occasions, which is understandable to be afraid of that.
Right. So, so anyways, when we talk about fear, especially when it comes to Hazel, is that like we're gonna face our fears, right? This is the conversation that I'm having with her because we are not going to have a household where ridiculous fears are going to be assuaged or given into.
Oh yeah.
We're just going to face our fears and we're going to see that like they're not so scary after all, right? We're going to look them in the face and we're going to show, lead by example of not being fearful.
Yeah, and I think that in itself will make me braver because I know I have to put on a face, which will give me more motivation.
Well, you were a very fearful little bird,
because
growing up.
My family let me be that way. Mm-hmm. Exactly. They didn't push me to keep going when I was afraid. They'd just be like, "Okay, it's okay, you can quit."
And it also made you more dependent on them.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I'll put on a strong face and I'll show Hazel it's okay.
Good.
Let's do this together.
Good. I think it's important because you don't want them to grow up like that.
It's okay.
It's okay to
scared.
Oh yeah, it's okay to be scared, but it's not okay to not do it. You can feel fear, but you still have to. Courage is being afraid, but doing it anyway.
That's right.
You know, I've seen the video of this father teaching his daughter how to skateboard, you know, and she keeps falling. But, you know, the thing is, it really is about how the adult reacts. It's not the child. The child is going to be fearful. It's all in how that adult reacts. If the adult is calm and is not going to let, you know, the child know that the fears are, you know, valid, or he's like, you know, the child won't be afraid, because children look to adults for modeling of what's going on. It's like, if the adult looks afraid or angry, well, then that's going to send a message to the child to be like, oh, something's wrong here. Whereas if the adult's just totally calm, like, yeah, see that spider? Oh, yeah, there's a spider there. It's like, you know, and if you don't indulge it and you don't coddle the fear, or you just stay calm. It's like, I always remembered, like, when I would fall off my bike or something as a kid, if mom was worried, then I knew something was rough. But if she was like, oh, okay, get up, I'd be like, okay, I'm fine.
Right.
You know, like, there'd be no problem. But, like, you know, when an adult suddenly goes, oh my God, like when I broke my head open, you know, and mom came out, was like, yeah. You know, I was like, oh no.
It would be hard to hold in your calmness, you know, and I'd be scared too. I'd be like, oh my God, if there's like blood all over Hazel's head.
You remember when Jody sliced her finger open with the cheese? So
I'll never forget that. The knives that Amy Burton sold us, because mom, she was like, Amy was selling knives in between something, doing something. Yeah. Do you remember what Jody said in the car?
Yeah, I remember, but let's build up to it. I'll let you say the epic line. So Jody was she was kind of a cheese hound, so she loved some cheese. So she would go into the kitchen when she was a little child, and she would slice off a piece of cheese, and she'd eat some cheese. And then one day she took it was a Cutco knife.
Oh.
And so she sliced open her finger while she was trying to cut some cheese. And, you know, she didn't like scream and wail like crazy or anything like that. She was actually pretty quiet. We got her like bandaged up the best we could, and we're taking her to the hospital, and we're in the car, and Jody's just totally quiet. And she goes, you know, guys, I can't live with you anymore. And we all looked around at Jody. We're like, well, why not? And she says,
well, that's what she said. That was the line. That was the line.
No, the line was, you know why I can't live with you anymore? Because tonight I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
Yes.
I just remember that little girl voice went, I can't live with you anymore. I'm like, oh my God. Like, so the first thought in my mind when she said that is, you know, I can't live with you guys anymore is because you don't keep me safe. Oh, you don't take care of me.
Right. You don't take good taken away from you.
Yes. Dad is tuned in this morning, texted me. He said it sent chills down his leg when that happened. Yes. You know, it's scary.
Well, my forehead, because I still have a scar. I busted my forehead open. I hit my head on a crock pot. And it didn't hurt. And I think, you know, but I thought I had a concussion, and I was literally just streaming blood down my face, just blood down my face.
I thought that you like fell and hit your head on the license plate on a horse trailer.
That's when I fell off the top of the horse trailer and hit my back. That was when I got my back. Yeah,
Protective Services would have a field day with you guys.
Man, life on the farm is pretty rough.
It's rough, man. It's not for wimps. Life on the farm ain't for wimps.
Exactly. And my only major scar that you can see is the one that I got from my brother, because Justin stabbed me with a pair of scissors.
Well, you have to get one at least.
Oh, goodness.
Can you ever tell that story? Do you know why that's... Because
Justin, go ahead, tell the story of how I got
an Atari.
What's your version?
I wanted an Atari 2600 like so bad. This is like 1983, right? An Atari, and so my mom and dad wouldn't buy it for me. And I listened to his. Here's how dark I was. My cousin Joey got like pneumonia, and he had an Atari. And I told mom to say, "Hey, Mom, will you ask Aunt Kathy that if Joey dies, can I have his Atari?" I mean, that's literally how dark this went. I was like, I want his Atari if he dies.
Okay.
So I decided, you know, what do children do when they can't do something? Well, they just make it themselves. So I started cutting out construction paper Pac-Man, because I was also obsessed with Pac-Man in the early 80s. And Austin, being the little gadfly he was, he couldn't leave me the F alone. He'd come over in his diaper and be like, just, you know, get away from me. And so I kept lunging at him. I kept lunging at him with the scissors, right? And then he would run away and he'd go, hey! And then he'd come back, right? Because he couldn't get enough. So he finally, I got him. I lunged after him at one point, and with the scissors, and I stabbed him right in the back.
Oh my goodness!
And then he went to the kitchen and he pulled up his shirt, right? And it was like black blood, and I was like, oh, I'm in trouble now.
Because it was pumping
so
fast.
It was so dark. It was so dark, and I was like, oh, this is bad. This is bad. So
where were your parents?
Oh, they were there. You know, they were there. And of course they ran Austin to the hospital, and then he got stitches, and then he got to go to Hardee's, and he got a shirt tail cup and a thing that I had been begging for weeks.
Yes, this toy that he wanted. It was the raccoon shirt tail.
Oh, man,
Yeah,
shirt
I mean,
tails.
you
They were
deserved
kind of like
a punishment, Justin, for doing that.
They were like the Care Bears. You know, the
Absolutely.
shirt tails was like a thing in the 80s. Like, you know, it was like when the Hardee's had a tie-in, and I was like, oh, this Hardee's tie. I got to get one of them shirt tails because I love shirt tails.
Remember
And
when
Austin got a
Hardee's used
shirt
to?
tail.
Remember when Hardee's used to have those cinnamon biscuits, cinnamon raisin biscuits in the morning, and now they don't anymore, and they
I
kind
want
of
to go to Hardee's.
No, they don't have them anymore.
We've got some
You can-
coupons.
You can find the recipe online. I gotta make them. Those cinnamon raisin biscuits. Oh,
With the
man.
icing that they would have dripping on top of it. And they did like the Tom Cruise tie-in Days of Thunder back in like 1988 or whenever it was.
With orange juice in the morning, just that cold, like set your teeth on edge orange juice.
Yes,
So
man, those were the good old days. 1988, baby. Yes.
There really is something about the older sibling just like wanting to hurt the younger one. Because my sister, she dislocated my shoulder once when I was making her mad, and then later on in adulthood, she told me she used to fantasize about hitting my head on things. So I think there's just something about it. You just don't like
That's
your
something you
younger
need to unpack.
sibling.
No, Austin would just, you know, I would start. What would I do, Austin? I'd bite my tongue. I would just go. I'd get this face of just rage. Like one time we were kids. Like this was probably when Austin was like, I don't know, 7, 8, and we were down at the other farm, and we were walking around, and Austin's like, I know where the creek is. I'll take you to the creek. And so it's like me, Brian, my friend, and like we're walking, and we're like following Austin. And Austin doesn't know where the hell he's going. And we're
Oh,
just
you
like,
lied to them?
and
I
I
didn't
finally, and we had
lie.
burrs, and we were covered in burrs, and I was just like so pissed off. I
Oh,
just
man.
beat
Yeah, I
the
knew what
living
I was doing.
crap. Beat the living crap
Oh
out
my
of
God.
Austin.
I know.
It was
Younger
like,
siblings, we are obnoxious. We really are.
well,
Yeah,
you know,
I
they're
used to make
just
fun of
like-
my
yeah.
sister all the time.
There's actually a hilarious recording of me as a kid singing on some tape recorder at my grandma Rose's house, and I'm going, you know, I'm making up some stupid song, and Austin comes in and goes. While I'm trying to like make my recording, you know, and I just go, you can literally hear in the background, you can hear, like you can hear like the beating going on, and then like
was beating
literally
him
runs
in the
into grandma
background?
and goes,
Austin was.
"Ah!" And he runs into the other room. It's awesome.
Oh my
It's
God.
awesome. It's awesome.
Boys, I
Austin
think.
got his whacks. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah,
I
I
whacked
mean,
him.
the boys being physical, I think that's normal.
There was one time where Justin and I were fighting in the car, and Mom used to have this big checkbook for Stonegate, and she used to write checks for the business, and it was just this giant heavy leather checkbook.
Wow.
And at one point we were in the Aerostar, the Ford Aerostar minivan. It was like the 1993 minivan. It was like the minivan of the year, right? Back when they were like really boxy, you know, the Ford Aerostar minivan. And Justin, for whatever reason, we're fighting. Justin grabbed Mom's big heavy leather checkbook and just like a throwing knife, just like boom, winged it and hit me right in the temple. Boom. And like it didn't really hurt that bad, but it was such an act of violence that it like knocked me down onto the floor.
Yeah.
And so I was like, so I pretended to be dead.
Yes, he did.
So I pretended like,
And he
your
started
mother was in the
foaming
car
at the
with you?
mouth. He started
yeah,
going, like creating like foam. And I'm
Yes.
literally like in the back going, oh crap. And I'm like with Mom, I go, Mom, he's foaming at the mouth. And we're driving down this road like by Bannister or somewhere. And people literally driving next to us on the car are like, is everything okay? Do you need to like call someone? Is something going on? Like we were having a medical emergency.
oh man, it makes me so excited for fatherhood.
Tinted windows
Well, my
in your
favorite thing-
van.
I don't remember.
My favorite thing, then Mother would go, and I'm going to say a bad word, but she would go, we'd be in the car doing something, and mother would just reach her end, and she'd go, "You sons of bitches!" You know, she would get so mad.
Oh my goodness!
I mean, like for the most part, we were pretty good kids, but every once in a while, we'd act up like anybody,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
But I just remember like thinking like, "I'm gonna get him good," you know. He hit me hard, and I was like totally fine. But I was like,
Well, I did. I was like, "Oh no, I really fucked up this time."
I was having
Oh, man.
pretending to have a seizure. It was so
my
funny,
goodness.
so funny.
Terrible.
Oh, duh. Remember the turkey jumping up on the wagon when you were driving the tractor, Austin? I don't know if I remember that one, but I remember some stupid turkey chasing me around at the other farm.
They're violent. I've been
can be
attacked by a
mean, yeah.
turkey
Oh,
before.
Pedro. We had Pedro on the farm as kids. Pedro was mean. He was that mean chicken.
Pedro
He
the
was a
turkey. Oh, mean
rooster,
chicken.
yeah.
Oh, the
He was a
rooster.
rooster.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he was mean.
Yeah,
Pedro.
we did. Yeah, we did have some mean chickens, and every once in a while we get chased around by turkeys on the farm as well.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when we used to take the not rain barrels, but the barrels that the horses would drink out of.
Yes, that's right.
And remember we used to go and we used to roll ourselves down the hill in those things.
Yeah, you would put your hands up. You put your hands up like this on it to steady yourself. And then you put your feet on. Then you push, and then somebody would push you down the hill. And you just, as long as you stayed pressed, you were fine. But if you if your arms weakened, the gravity would take over and you would hit your head.
Yeah, you'd slam around inside like a dryer. Yeah. I mean, we're lucky that we didn't snap our spine or have some kind of like major like spinal cord injury from the stuff that we were doing when we were kids.
Well, it's such a contrast to today where kids are so like they never leave the house. You know, they stay in their rooms all day and they are on their phones. I'm like, we were out doing stuff. We were out walking around doing stuff, rolling down hills.
Yeah. I wonder if kids break their limbs less and less nowadays because they're not putting themselves at risk. Because, back in the day, we would do monkey bars. My sister broke her arm doing the monkey bars. It's like, do kids even do monkey bars anymore? Or do they just do like a monkey bar simulation on their video game console?
Mm-hmm.
If you fell off the monkey bars at Raymer Elementary, you fell into wood chips.
Yeah.
Like you would get splinters. You'd be like, it was legit,
Oh,
the playgrounds had wood chips, and it was
the playgrounds back in the 80s and 90s were way cooler than they are now.
Well, they used to be
I really
like
think so.
it was like hotter than the surface of the sun going down the slides. Remember those?
Metal.
Yes,
Yeah.
those slides that you used to go down, and then you would go like you'd fall onto wood chips and stuff. And sometimes it was so hot that like if you were wearing shorts, that like you would get like 3rd-degree burns.
Oh yeah,
on the bottom of your legs.
Yeah, like jumping off swings. I would jump off my swing all the time.
Or you know what? It was really fun. You'd get on the teeter-totter, i.e. the seesaw, with some asshole who would like jump off at the last minute while you were high in the air. Remember so you'd be up on this side, and then some dick would like drop off the thing and be like, and then you'd like come crashing down and hit your coccyx, and you'd be like,
coccyx.
And then they had the metal, not the monkey bars, but they had the metal jungle gyms.
Yes.
And if you
climb all over.
Right, if you fell in those jungle gyms, it would be like all the way down and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
That's how they toughened us up.
Oh, but it was like the playgrounds as a kid were awesome. Like even McDonald's had better playgrounds back then. Like the playgrounds at McDonald's in the 80s, I can still remember like the Hamburglar jail. You'd crawl up into the Hamburglar, and then like there would be like the bars around, Or my favorite thing was just tornado slides. I lived for a tornado slide as a kid. That was like my favorite thing. Dad used to take us to Belton Park because they had like one of the tallest tornado slides like in Cass County.
Yes.
So we would go and ride the tornado slide. And then get a little Dairy Queen afterwards, a little dip cone.
Yes, well, I love the Dairy Queens. We love the dip cones, and sometimes we go to the pool as well. Justin, it's been great having nostalgia for the last 30 minutes. Can I talk to you just a little bit about the news this last week?
Oh, if you want to.
Can we? Because I'm just curious. Because honestly, I do wonder what you think about things like this. Joe Biden told Democratic governors he needs more sleep and plans to stop scheduling events after 8 p.m. What's been your response to all this news going on, Justin?
Well, he's just setting boundaries, okay?
Yeah, there you go.
Just saying, he's girl bossing. That's what he's doing. He's girl bossing about setting his boundaries. Like I heard Stephanie say earlier, you're kind of the president. You sort of have to be kind of on call when stuff happens. And there's just things I think you can do, but maybe you just don't tell people you're doing them. Like, do we really want to tell people that you're just checking out at 8 o'clock? when people are already concerned about your health, you know, I mean, there's always a pre-existing story now going around. You know, I mean, listen, I like you guys, I love a nap. You know, I would, you know, sometimes like I'll take a nap over anything. You know, it's like, well, what do you do for fun on your dating profile? Naps. It's like, what do you do for fun in your spare time? Naps, and that's legit. And if you don't like it, I'm not for you.
Yeah, when they're done right, they're healthy.
I do love a nap on a Sunday afternoon. Oh, like in a 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock when you got enough afternoon. But you know, I don't know. You know, it just further foments that whole situation where we're already concerned. You know, and sundowning and all of that other stuff that's going on. So, you know,
Well, what about, Justin, the way that the media and the way that the White House was telling us for weeks that these videos that we were watching were cheap fakes? They were saying, don't believe your lying eyes, because
this is what I
behind the
told you last
scenes-
week, though. This is
Yeah.
the thing I told you last week, that they were gaslighting us and gaslighting us and gaslighting us for months about the state of the president, you know. And what was it suddenly that just turned the narrative? You know, this idea that he had a debate in June. They're not nominated. Neither of them have been nominated by their respective parties. So what was the purpose of this? You know, was this a trial balloon to just see how Biden would do, to sort of, you know, give the Democratic Party enough time to like readjust the sails before the fall? You know, the thing is like I told my friend here in town, I said, you know, as much as we think we hate the media, we really don't hate them enough, because how they lie to us. I mean, just lie. Like that mashup you just shared earlier today, you know, where they're all going, he's great, he's in great shape, he's in great shape. Those of us who really follow what's going on, I mean, if you really are following what's going on, not just sort of drinking from the supply of the you know,
The Kool-Aid.
the Kool-Aid, then, you know, then you wouldn't see it. You'd be like, it's shocking. I'm so shocked. I mean, how many Democratic people have I heard say, it's so worrisome? Like all of the people that I'm friends with, right, who are more left than I am, were like, oh my God, this is so bad. This is so bad. This is so bad. I'm like,
yeah.
How are you surprised by this? Like I've been we've been done knowing this for a while, that this was going on. So, yeah.
What do you think about the possibility of Kamala Harris taking over? Do you think that would be in the Democrats' best interests?
Well, what I find is funny is like on the betting websites that she's the odds-on favor. You know, the people that were really putting their money on something and saying, well, you know, I'll put my money on it, are putting her on there, and I'm like, yikes. You know, I just, you know, and then this is the thing that's so terrible about this whole identitarianism that we are living in. It's like people should be able to critique and criticize people in power, right? And anybody is fair game as far as I'm concerned. And if you're telling me that you can't criticize her because of her race, because of her sex, you know, this is a dirty game. And that's not, you know, that's why I think identity politics doesn't work, because you either accept that people are, you know, that we live in an egalitarian society, or we should try to be living in an egalitarian society, or you don't. And if you don't, then the rules don't apply. And it's like, you can't play by those rules, you know, in a liberal society, you know. So, I mean, I don't know. I've never thought of her as very serious. That's my whole issue with Kamala. I've never seen her as a person with austerity or with any kind of gravitas. She's never struck me as anybody who would be statesman-like, because just of her lack of gravitas. You know, everything sort of seems to be like she's been dropped into the middle of some sort of like a, you know, Lululemon party or something, you know, where it's like, or some like Tupperware party or something, you know, it's like, hi everybody, like with all the wine moms. And I'm just kind of like, you're a statesman. You need to have a little bit more, you know, like Margaret Thatcher you were talking about, who took voice lessons and had to like study how to be a person of state, you know, to comport oneself as well, I mean, like Howard Dean got kicked off of the election because he screamed. You know, this is how far we've gone in our public discourse. It means Howard Dean got, "Wah!" and they kicked him off of the ballot. That's all he did was do that. And they were like, nope, you're not serious enough. Bye. I mean, yeah.
Justin, you brought up Lululemon. I thought that was probably a good opportunity to segue here. I've got a story from the Daily Mail. It was a little bit of an older story, but it was going around yesterday. Diversity ? Writes the Daily Mail. Be honest, some women are simply too fat to wear leggings, says Lululemon founder. And let me just preface this, Justin, and say this. Yesterday, Stephanie and I were at the pool, and you know, it was really packed. Everybody was there for the 4th of July, like the Ozarks. They're partying, they're having a good time. A lot of people there were younger than us. Some people were, you know, as old or older than us.
Yeah, I was saying to you, it's so hard to tell how old people are nowadays. Once you're over like 25, everyone kind of looks the same.
Well, so one of the things that you notice when you go to, and maybe this is potentially because of this is a regional question here, it possibly could be affected by this, but like, everybody sort of feels a certain amount of insecurity about their bodies, right? Like, there's a certain amount of like, oh, am I, that guy's, buffer than I am, they're thinner than I am, right? They've got
girls, they got bigger boobs than I do.
Boobs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But and again, this could be because of the region where we were in. But I mean, when we looked around, Stephanie and I looked around yesterday, it's like, if you ever need like to feel good about yourself, go to a swimming pool at the Lake of the Ozarks. Because I mean, these people, I mean, a lot of them, I mean, you're talking about fat compounded on fat, like where like their rolls have rolls. And so it's kind of like, it's just become the norm. We see a lot of these nostalgia videos that show like what's changed from like the 1980s until today. And it's like for the last 40 years, we have just gotten huge, gigantic, but we haven't gotten more shame. We've actually now gotten less ashamed. And it used to be that if you were gigantic like that, you would cover yourself. But now it's kind of like, I'm fat and look at it, and everybody shows it off. I mean,
like guys used to wear T-shirts in the pool when they didn't like their
I
body.
was just thinking about that. Yeah, guys would
But
wear,
now
like,
you don't
t-shirts
see
in the
that
pool.
anymore.
The thing is, like, as you were saying, Austin, too, it's like, and I live in Boston, which is a very eminently walkable city. So people here are not as overweight. But when you have a state like Missouri, no offense, it's my home state, but like, people go around in their cars. That's how they get every place. Back in my day, we had mall walkers. Well, there's no more malls anymore. So people could get out and like Grandma Rose would go with Willie, remember? Willie, sweet Willie.
Yeah,
and
I remember Willie.
They'd mall walk, and Grandma Bill would get up if I'd stayed with her, she'd get up and we'd walk around the block. I mean, walking was like what we did is, but we live in a place now where everyone gets around by cars. Nobody gets out and walks anymore. Cities, even in Europe, are very walkable. And that's why, like, for example, people in Europe tend to be a little bit more slender because they just walk if you just walked everywhere, you could lose weight naturally without even having to do anything really that much.
Absolutely.
But also, like we were talking about the food pyramid, like it's very easy to eat cheap food that makes you fat. Right. It's very easy to eat cheap food. So, and the access to it, it's like what I always tell people now, it's like you want to shop the outside of the grocery store. You don't ever want to go down the aisles because basically that's where all the crap food is. You always want to be shopping on the perimeter for the food that you eat. But no, I think, people, I have grace here because I feel like people the odds are stacked against them, in terms of food, in terms of access of food, in terms of what's available. And knowledge, right, of what they should be eating, how they should be eating. I mean, I know that I didn't know how to eat. I didn't know how to eat at all until I learned what macronutrients were. And then I was like, oh, you mean I should have so much of this and so much of that? And then it completely changed the way I eat. And I don't eat the same way anymore because I realized I'm like, well, if you had a lot of carbs today, you need to up your protein, or, you've had a lot of fat, you need to lessen.
Yeah, I was so shocked, Justin. I can't tell you like how shocked I was when I first got my Fitbit, and I'm back on the Fitbit train again for a little while. I gained a bunch of weight and I didn't have my Fitbit. Now it helps me to remind me to, to watch the macronutrients, carbs, fats, and proteins. But I was shocked at how hard it is to get good protein in your diet. Like I've always been something of a carnivore, like a proud meat eating guy. But what you don't realize is that most of the meats that we're eating these days are just fats, right? You're eating a burger, double cheeseburger, doesn't matter. It's like mostly fat,
Well, like even if you get like, you think, oh, I'll go to the store and I'll get one of those meat packets of like, barbecue or whatever. And then you look and you're like, look at all the sugar in it, they put corn syrup in everything. And so even if you go to like, even the sauces, that's where they really get you, is like in these really rich sauces, because to make it palatable, people will slather it in like some kind of sugared sauce. So yeah, I think for me, it's like, that's why protein powder is a good supplement, because you can get it just straight, especially if you get a good quality one. I think that you got to be careful with those because of the carbohydrates in those. You just have to watch out that they don't have too many carbohydrates to make them palatable. But you're right. I mean, I think that people don't know. And the food pyramid is wrong, right? I mean, remember the food pyramid with the freaking, grains at the bottom.
Oh
Like,
yeah, and
eat
it was
lots
all
of
it was all
bread.
an industry scam. It was all an industry scam. Courtney Conover says that it's also about how much we eat. That was another thing too. Is it like is that when I'm counting my calories on my Fitbit app, you know, I beep how much I've eaten of something. What you don't realize sometimes is that like, okay, I've eaten enough calories. You know, my Fitbit is telling me that I've maxed out what I need to eat for this, but it's like normally I would probably just like keep eating, right? So you like, but it's like it's shocking too because on the brighter side of things, like the first time I dieted, I was like, oh, I can't have any of the foods that I want, and it's kind of like, actually, you want to eat McDonald's 3 times a day? You can, but you can only have so much. You can only have so much. You can't have a soda with your burger and fries. You can't have a large fry, but you can have a medium fry and a cheeseburger, and you have to drink water with it, and then you're good on your calories. So people, I think, sometimes fool themselves into thinking that, oh, I have to only eat chicken and broccoli and rice, and that's it. You know, that's good. You should, and you definitely want to eat foods that are going to give you like important vitamins and minerals. But just controlling how much you eat, knowing how many calories are in what you're eating, that'll change your perspective because you'll realize too that like, oh, I'm full. I'll just stop eating, and you're good.
If you look at too, like in an animal in the wild, right? When an animal goes out to eat something, like another animal, a carnivore, what they really want is the fat, because it's sort of that combination of protein and fat that gives you satiety. The thing about carbs is, and I don't know if for you, but like when I have a more heavy carb diet, I'm starving all the time because of that sugar component that's in carbohydrates. It just makes me ravenously hungry. But if I lower my carbohydrate intake, I find that I'm not as hungry eating like protein and fat than you know, and cheese is awesome. I mean, any diet that says, hey, have some cheese, I'm like, yes, you know. But you're right. I think it's, you know, certain foods make you more hungry. And like when you think about like restaurants and things like that, especially like McDonald's or whatever, those people study food like it's a freaking science. And they study like what is the perfect combination of sugar and fat to make someone's mouth. I mean, they even study things like mouthfeel. Like, how does the food feel in your mouth?
It works.
It's designed to give you heightened senses of pleasure. So it's, you know, it's not like, oh, here's just a sandwich. It's like, no, there's a science behind this stuff that people want you to come back more and more and more. It's addictive. It is addictive. Food can be an addiction. I completely think that's true.
Yeah,
it can be addictive.
Yeah, I mean, it's very soothing, right? Especially comfort foods, things that you've been eating your entire life growing up, right? And again, this is conversations that Stephanie and I are having about our child. Is how will we feed Hazel? For 2 reasons. One, to keep her healthy, and then another because I'm very, very focused on trying to give her the kind of variety that will help her to have a broad palate. Because honestly, the wider your tastes are, the easier it is to eat healthy. The more different types of foods that you like. So Stephanie, go ahead.
No, the other thing I just want to pose it here is like, I understand the whole thing about fat shaming, and I understand there's a whole industry right now that's kind of come up, especially online, about, you know, just making people feel bad about their weight. And, you know, you and I have talked about bullies, right? I'm not a big fan of bullies. And when I see people that are overweight or whatever, and then I also want to think about being in gym culture, when really what is the best of gym culture is that when you go into a gym, a really good gym, people there want you to be successful. They want you to you know, people think, oh, I'm so afraid of going to the gym. It's really not, it's in your head. Because a lot of times everybody in that gym is trying to do the same thing. And when you come in, everybody that I know that has ever worked out in a gym, in my experience, has been very positive about letting people come in and work on themselves. And we're proud of you for being here. And, you know, sometimes maybe you can just do one thing. And it's like, I just can walk maybe a 5-minute treadmill. Great. But this, you know, so I waffle on this thing about shaming people. And like, you know, I'm like, people sometimes have been just victims of their own circumstances. So, and maybe that's the old liberal in me, right?
Sure. Well, part of it is how they're raised. Like you can see families with children, and the children are already 300 pounds at like 14 years old.
Right.
And it's like they never had a chance. They didn't have a choice of what they were eating. They were given food, and the parents are the ones who were responsible for that. Right.
But the people that are mocking a lot of times these overweight people, they're like 7s or 6s. Do you know what I mean? Like when you have visible abs, when your body is like on point and you can be like, yeah, I'm ripped, bro. Like Phil Labonte could say something. Do you know what I mean? Because Phil Labonte's put in the work. But I always see these people that are like, yeah, well, you could lose like about 15 to 20 pounds yourself, mister. You know,
No,
you could stand to lose some
it's
weight.
true, but the difference is, for example, is that we now have activists, right?
Well,
so
that's
there
different,
are
right.
fat activists, right?
Right.
So you know, I don't. You could be 500 pounds and still bully a person who's fat and who says that this is healthy at any size, right? And say, you know, lying to us and gaslighting.
That's because you're mocking their intellect and their ideas, right? You're saying that's a stupid idea, which is what I always try to do, is like try to attack ideas, don't attack people. So if somebody's telling me I'm healthy, I'm like, that is a stupid idea, right? It has nothing to do with your size. It has to do with your idea. Your idea is stupid.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like when it comes to your diet is like after a while your taste will start to change. Like I used to be like a soda addict and I loved me some Mountain Dew and some Coca-Cola and all that. But like yesterday I had like a taste of Coke for the first time in like it's been a long time. I don't know what the last time that I've had a Coke, and it really kind of tasted syrupy and nasty to me. I only drank like a couple of drinks out of it.
Yeah, once you start drinking water ongoing for a long time, the fizz in pop is just shocking to your body, where you're like, oh, and it's like coming up your nose, because that's what I definitely experienced, because I drink pretty much water and juice.
It really sensitizes you to the amount of sugar that's in our diet. That's the other thing. It's like just the sheer amount of sugar that we consume on a daily basis is insane.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's in everything.
But then you say, okay, if someone is overweight, what should they wear? Going back to the Lululemon topic, like I'm pregnant and I'm wearing the really skinny leggings here, but it's like my legs are still pretty skinny, luckily. But if I had a large padonkadonk and like all these rolls of fat hanging out, it's like, should I be wearing that?
Well, I feel like when you're a pregnant mother that like there's a different standard that you're judged by. But you and I talked about this, and this is kind of like maybe not going to make some people happy, but you said this, not me, that some women use the pregnancy as an excuse to let themselves go.
Oh, I really think so. I mean, I've been watching so many TikTok videos throughout this pregnancy where people are like, what I eat in a day at 8 months pregnant. And I mean, they're just eating so much crap, like starting off with the latte with, all the sugar and everything in it. And, just eating like every hour on the hour. And it's like, I really haven't had cravings during this pregnancy, so I'm really thankful for that. But you don't have to do that.
And you're getting your kid addicted to it before they're even born, right? It's kind of crack baby kind of stuff. But sugar is.
But then there's like a libertarian perspective of like what? If you really think about a libertarian perspective about what people wear, how it's like, there's a point. It's like, okay, well, I don't care what you're doing, right? Because whatever. And that's kind of my feeling about it. It's like whatever, like.
No, I mean, and I think more people would be like that if it weren't for the activists, right?
I think so too.
If it weren't for the fact that we have people who pee on our leg and tell us it's raining, if it weren't for the fact that just like when it comes to Biden in the White House and his mental fitness, you have the media out there saying one thing about how things are in order to cover for their political base, and it is gaslighting. They're trying to get us to question our own sanity. They want us to think. They think that they can convince us that this is a woman with a penis, right? That her testicles, right? They want to just like they tell full-fledged gay men. Yes, we know that your whole life you fought for like the right to be able to have a relationship with another adult man, but now we, the LGBT community, are telling us, you now have to be attracted to biological women. So that is gaslighting, right? Because they're saying it is a woman, and the gay men are like, no, that is a man. And you're like, no, it's not a man. That is a biological woman. I am attracted to same sex. And so it's like, it turns on its head everything that the gay community had been fighting for decades. And so I think that's where the angst comes from. That's where the anger comes from. See, people like myself would not be such an activist. I would not be so pissed off all the time if I weren't constantly being lied to. Like I can't stand. That's what I can't stand. If I could turn on the news at night and I felt like, oh well, they're just raising taxes for infrastructure and all that kind of stuff, and that maybe I don't agree with that, but I probably wouldn't be as as angry if it weren't for the fact that they're telling us one thing when it's quite clearly another. And that's why I'm an activist. That's why I got involved with politics.
Yeah, I hate bullies and I hate liars. You know,
Yes.
those are the two things I think my parents raised me on. It's like, I don't like bullies and I don't like liars. And yeah, and we couldn't even say liar in the house growing up as kids. Mom wouldn't even let us say the word liar. She was like, don't, you know, it's like a big naughty word for us, you know, because
Wow.
it was so extreme. That's how, you know, much, weight we gave to that word. But you're right. I think that's the thing. You begin to mistrust everything around you. And then the other thing that happens is you begin to fear everyone that's around you, right? We were talking about fear earlier. So then you will start to walk on eggshells around everybody. So you feel like you can never be free. Your mind is never free. You have to just be like, I don't know if I can say this to the, you know, in ancient history, Christians, because of the persecution of Christians, one Christian would meet a person, and if they were not sure if that other person was a Christian, they would draw half of the ichthus fish, right, in the sand. And if the other person completed the ichthus fish, that was a sign that it was safe to speak to that person about, you know, whatever was going on politically in Rome or
Jesus.
whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but if they didn't complete the ichthus, then that was a signal that person wasn't a safe person, or we would say today, right? That's not a safe person.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the
have you ever
level-
seen the Jesus fish, Stephanie?
Yeah.
So that's what they would draw. It looks like just a normal
Jewish
line.
people have redone it to say gefilte fish.
Oh yeah, well that's funny, but it looks just like a normal line if you just draw one half of it, right? So it's just like, why is this person drawing a line in the sand in front of me? But if the other person completes it, right? And it was it was a sign because Jesus was considered to be a fisher of men, correct?
Yeah, and also, you know, that the persecution against the Christians was due to the fact that Christians didn't worship the state. This was the thing about, I said this a couple weeks ago, but like Christianity was always a thorn in the side of statists, because they worshipped like an appeal to heaven, right? They had a higher authority than the state or the government, which always makes them inconvenient in societies.
Yeah,
Which was
same
why
with the Jews. Same with the Jews.
Yeah, it's why Christianity is not the statists and the people who want state control of things have to get rid of religion. They did it during the French Revolution. Any revolution that occurs that is state-centered and state-focused has had to get rid of religion. Because religion is a system, it's like a bug in the system that says, no, we don't do that. The reason that the Christians were thrown to the lions was not because of their particular beliefs. I mean, there's lots of religions that were in Rome. It was the fact that the Romans would not bow to Caesar and worship him like a god. They were like, no, Caesar is not our god, you know. And that's why they had to die. And that's why everyone mocked them, right? I mean, civilizations are, you know, we're still the same. We would mock people, be like, oh, why don't you just put the mask on? Right? Just put it on.
Wear the
like everyone
mask.
else.
Yeah.
Just do it. You know,
Yeah, get
it's
the
same
vax.
energy. It's the same energy. It's the same energy. So
No.
Yeah, I mean, I see the expectations everywhere. We were just reading the Father's Survival Guide.
Oh
Just in the car the other day, and they were like, all right, postpartum, your wife is gonna literally be on the floor, unable to help herself, not being hygienic. She won't brush her hair for 3 weeks. And it's like, these are the expectations. We're told that it's okay for women to act like this, for them to make their husband feel alone.
Exactly. As soon as that child is out, I want your hair brushed. I want you cleaned.
There is no excuse.
Woman!
I mean, sure, you know, if you're recovering from a C-section, you're in horrible pain. Sure, I get it. But like, there is no excuse to be on the floor, literally, you know, not talking to anybody, not doing anything.
Non sequitur. We're running up against the end of our time here. 8:51, actually here at the Wake Up America show, which means that I have to push the sad music button.
my mic stood for the whole time.
You
It didn't
did
go
it.
crackly.
You
At
did,
least I don't
Justin.
think so.
You love to see it.
I have a feeling it's not your mic. I think it's probably something else that goes wrong.
Justin, what else is on your mind today? Anything else that you would like to share with our listeners before we let you go today, brother?
What is going on in my mind today? It's going to be a great 4th of July weekend. Today's, Friday is my day where my Substack comes out at 10 a.m., where I write all about voice teaching, if anybody's into that.
Justin,
I also do lessons.
Go ahead. Continue.
No, I also teach voice lessons online as well. You might see my ad during Austin's show. So, yeah.
Justin, and also we are going to be seeing you live and in person sometime in the near future, I imagine.
Yes, I'm going to be doing a masterclass in Ohio in the middle of July, and then I'm going to be coming home from Dayton. I'm going to Dayton, Ohio, and then I'll come home to Kansas City for a little bit for Mario's birthday. And if you could shoot that baby out fast, that would be great, so that I could know how to book my flights. So
yeah, I know that. Seriously, it is one of the most stressful things for me because I have a lot of out-of-town family, obviously, and it's like, when do you tell them to come visit? That is the hardest thing ever. Everyone in the chat, what do you do?
I kind of want to be there, you know. I want to be there for the baby. I don't
Well,
want to
we
be
might, we might just have an inducement date at some point, you know.
You never know.
Yeah,
but it's
so-
like we won't know that until just before, and then the flights are going to be horribly extravagant, prices. So
Well,
it's
if they love us, they'll pay it. Justin, we gotta run. Love you, brother. We look forward to seeing you here in a few weeks. Good luck at your master class, and we'll see you again here next week on the show.
Sounds good.
Thanks, brother. Love you. Give him a round of applause. That's JP. Yes. Well, Steffi, what did we learn today?
we learned that it's okay for fat people to wear leggings.
I'm not sure that's the lesson there.
Biden should stay in the running.
Didn't we also learn that you should download the Rumble app? Because once you download it, you should search for my channel and follow my channel here directly on the app, rumble.com/AP4Liberty. That'll make sure that you get a notification every time that we go live here on the Wake Up America show. Click the link in the description right now or the pinned live chat to download the Rumble app on your phone. It's totally free. If you'd prefer to watch me, Stephanie P, and Justin P on the big screen, we're also available on Apple TV, Android TV, Fire TV, Roku, LG, Samsung TVs. All you need to do is search for Rumble and you'll be able to find the Wake Up America show. Thank you to Rumble for those things. Stephanie?
Make sure to tune in to Hustling and Homemaking. I did a reel this week about relationship advice. It's actually from the 4 horsemen of things you should and shouldn't do in a relationship to make it survive.
There we go.
So check out my reel. I have another reel coming out this coming week where I'm going to be making something yummy and it's kid friendly, so you'll be able to do it at home with your kids. And go to forlibertyshop.com and get cute baby onesies like this one on Mr. Chicken. And be free.
Be free. We'll see you guys here on Monday. Have a great weekend. Love you all. And don't forget to exit through the Grift Shop at forlibertyshop.com. We'll see you on Monday.
Expansive time, a year might seem like a mere moment, but oh, what a year it's been. In September 2022, Austin and Stephanie Peterson embarked on a journey to wake up America. They began humbly, with just 20 souls tuning in, learning, listening, and though challenges arose, like the looming shadow of YouTube demonetization, their spirit never waned. And now, thanks to you, thousands rise with the sun to join them, to listen, to engage, to be a part of a community. So here's to you, and to Wake Up America, for memories shared, for friends made, for the journey ahead, and for never, ever forgetting to rise and freedom. Happy anniversary.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message. Believe me, Austin Peterson is the best. He's got the greatest Wake Up America show I've ever seen. Whenever I tune in the mornings and watch the live stream, let me tell you, he has got the absolute best content. I love his guests. It's just a total blast to watch, and I highly endorse and recommend the Wake Up America show. It's terrific, believe me.
Is the outdoor of your home about as exciting as a library? Then spice it up and unbore your space with our custom metal signs. Crafted with love and a bit of libertarian magic, you can customize your own metal sign at ap4libertyshop.com. So head to ap4libertyshop.com, customize your own metal sign today.
Welcome to a world of vocal discovery at Peterson Voice Studio. I'm Justin Peterson,
here to guide your musical journey. Envision a place where your voice reaches new heights, where every note tells a story. We embrace all singers, from the enthusiastic shower vocalists to aspiring stars, ensuring each voice finds its unique rhythm and tone. Are you ready to elevate your voice? Visit petersonvoicestudio.com and sign up for remote lessons tailored just for you. Let's begin this melodious journey together.
Tired of spending your hard-earned money on woke corporations that don't share your pro-freedom values? Fed up with sipping liberal lattes and progressive cappuccinos? Introducing Founding Flavors from AP for Liberty Shop. Get your day started with Washington's Revolutionary Roast. As robust and principled as the man himself, this blend is the shot of energy heard round the world. Or maybe you want to taste the fervor of freedom with Adams's Patriotic Perk. It's as dynamic and balanced as the U.S. Constitution, sure to awaken your spirit of liberty. For the aficionados, we've got the Jeffersonian Java, a complex mix of flavors that speaks volumes about your refined tastes. And don't forget Betsy's Liberty Lullaby, our decaf option, crafted with the same care and dedication Betsy Ross put into our Star-Spangled Banner. This blend lets you enjoy the taste of freedom anytime without losing sleep. No woke beans here, folks. Just pure, patriotic, pro-freedom flavors brewed with love for liberty. So why compromise your principles for a cup of coffee? Stand up for your values, perk up your patriotism, and start your day the American way. Get your Founding Flavors at apforlibertyshop.com.